on Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. She drove down my block, started shooting at me, told me to come outside. So we coming outside. So we want to turn it over to the incomparable, the amazing Keinya Graves.
What's up, Keinya?
Hey,
What's popping?
I don't know why the camera is on black and white, but hey,
What's up, Keinya? How you doing? First and foremost, Keinya, how you doing?
I'm doing good.
Let us know what neck of the woods are you residing in right now?
Well, right now I am in the lovely town of Clarksville, Tennessee,
The
and
Ville, huh?
And down south magic for
yeah,
y'all.
down south, yes sir.
That down south magic for y'all. So Keinya is Keinya. I was looking at your author page today, and I seen that you had like 20 books out or some shit. So how many books is it that you have out right now?
I have 12 books, one journal, and I'm working on number 14.
Okay. So how did you get into writing? How did it all come about?
I've always written poetry, always, ever since I was little. But I had an incident a long time ago where it just triggered some things in me, and I had a friend that I worked with that used to tell me all the time to write it down.
Right.
So I started writing little, like basically keeping a journal, and she would read it. And it was weird because it was a journal. But she would read it. I'd take it to work with me, and she would read it. And she was like, "You need to write this as a story." But I didn't want to actually write that particular story, so I just switched it up. And instead of it being what was going on at the time, it ended up being what I would like for my life to turn into,
Okay.
along with some other things, adding in some colorful nature and some very interesting, shall we say, Karen blood making something that would make Karen blush right now.
we gonna say her material is a little risque. That's what we gonna say. Her
I
material is a
call it
little
realistic
risque.
romance. Realistic
Realistic
romance.
moments. That's what you want to call it. Realistic moments. All right. So I'm gonna let y'all get y'all questions out before I dig into her shit.
Okay.
So
Hello, Keinya.
going
Y'all
on?
don't be in my
Don't be attacking my girl.
Oh shit,
Okay, first of all, what I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted by the internet, I am so proud to know this young lady right here. I really checked her out this weekend. Girl, you know what? When I see stuff like that, I can't do nothing but praise you, tell you to keep going, because I know with each book that you push out, that you have pushed out a healing within that book. So you keep going, my sister. You keep going. And as far as anything to make me blush, baby, read Great Family Praise. I guarantee you I won't blush. Read She Me We. I won't
I
blush.
got
Read
blush.
oh boy, KD. You always blushing, KD.
Welcome to the show, though, Keinya.
Thank you.
What's
I'm
up
glad
now?
to be here.
No, what's up now? What you got?
Before we get into the shots fired at, because I'm still in healing from that. But one of the books, one of the 18 books that she has written, one of my favorites. Well, actually, it was two. Was Ninja Freaks and Confessions of a Cougar, and those two books spoke volumes, and her writing and things like that. Tell us how you got your. Tell us how those thoughts become books that you put out like that. What goes into you putting out such a beautiful body of work that you do.
You would pick two of the freakiest books that I've written today. Just throwing that out there. But Ninja Freaks is actually the third book that I wrote. It's I take that back. It's the second book that I wrote. and it was an extension of the first one. I just took my first book ever was called Garden of Black and White Roses. Um, that one was a collection of short stories, um, but it all blended in the characters together. So what I did with Ninja Freaks is with one of the main characters from Black and White Roses, I took I just made an additional character. I made her have a sister, and I just went from there. And I end up closing out the first book with the stories joining together by saying what those characters did in Ninja Freaks, but it was about one main character, if that makes sense. Confessions of a Cougar. It was based on realistic. It was based on something I was actually going through. I was at one point in a situationship, if you want to say, type thing.
Kenya, hold on, Kenya. Can we call that a throuple?
Excuse me, what?
Entanglement.
Can we call that a throuple?
We're calling it a situationship. It was a situationship, a big mistake, a big chunk of my life. But what I took out of it. I took little bits and pieces out of what was going on, dealing with this younger guy, and I just made it colorful. What would I do with this type of character? What would I do if this character got in this situation? Which it didn't get to that point. I just want to let everybody know, if you read the book, it's realistic romance, but it's fiction. Just throwing that out there.
I understand, girl.
I had to clarify because I've actually had people come up to me. So who is who? No.
All right. So being as if that was the case, were you nervous about any of the characters that you wrote about reading it?
No, actually no. I like it's funny when people actually do that. Ask me if certain characters are based on certain people. Now, there are some real people who, like the friends in Confessions of a Cougar. All the friends are my friends. Like Angie's in the book. She is one of Paris's best friends throughout the 10-year time period that the book is based on. And I just took people who were close to me, and I said, okay, I guess I'll give you guys a shout out, and this is what we're gonna do. And yeah, I think they appreciated it a little bit.
All right, y'all got anything before I get into her shit?
Really?
All right, Kenya.
I have a question. So Kenya, when you're writing in the different characters and you really become those characters, does it drain you? And what do you do to get your energy back?
It does. It does. Mainly the type of characters that I write are, I want to say, maybe, like I said, every character I write is a part of me. You know, they have my parts of my personality anyway. So when I'm writing, it's basically me delving further into myself, but trying to still make it relatable to other people. So I'm trying to make sure that, first of all, it makes sense, and second of all, it's good writing. Um, once once I'm done with the characters, once I'm done with the book, once I've done the publishing phase, and I'm actually starting to do the marketing, um, it's on to the next one. Like it's time for me. I usually think characters in my sleep, and I'll get up and I'll write the next one. So at that point, I don't think I have a lot of time to decompress from one character to the next. I just have to jump into the next character.
Okay, so what's the hardest part about writing a book?
Marketing. The writing part is easy. Um, it's easier when you have an actual flow. But once you get the book written, once you get it edited, and once you get it, to the publishing phase, all that just goes really quickly. Um, but as a self-published author, I have to push it out myself. I have to do pretty much the promotion. I have to do, and if a person is not reading your book to begin with, if they're not, if you have, especially if you have multiple books, if a
Right.
person is not reading the first book, or they read and they got offended maybe by the first book, thinking it was something different,
Right.
then they're not going to be willing to read anything else that you have. So you have to now convince people, hey, this is good. Because once they read it, if they didn't like it, they told their friends, and their friends told their friends. They may have purchased it somewhere because they know you, read it, like, this is not really what I wanted to read, or what I really thought it was going to be. So it's my job now to market and try to
Right.
get them to have it.
Okay, so as you write a lot about relationships and personal experiences and other people's experience, what do you think is today's biggest issues why relationships don't last in today's generation?
Um, that's a good question. A lot of trust issues. I mean, trust issues, communication. Um, what else?
What do y'all think? No, and Katie, what do y'all think?
Well, I hope you ain't asking me what the hell do I know.
That's actually a really hard question for me, because I haven't actually been in a, I guess, real steady relationship in 18 years. Healthy, well, it wasn't even healthy. So I mean, I haven't actually been in a relationship. I've been in, I've dated over time, last couple of years, but I actually lost my trust in relationships because of my last relationship. So I'm really not a good, that's you have to you have to break my wall down in order to get me to start trusting you. But once you do, I try my best,
Right.
to make that relationship healthy. Usually
But are
doesn't
you
work
open
out.
to that? Are you open to that? Are you open to trying to trust somebody?
Oh yeah, I'm definitely
Because
open to
Katie
trying to
not.
trust somebody.
Katie not. She
So
just
he's
shut him
like,
down.
no.
Call me out like that. Oh my God. No,
Katie just shut him down from the gate. Like, no.
oh
No.
my God. He called me out like that, Kenya.
No,
And
what's
he's
your answer to
lying.
the question now?
He is lying.
Repeat the question, see?
The question was, what do you think is the biggest issue why relationships are not lasting today?
I mean, a number of factors go into it, but I think probably the number one thing is no one gives it the time to grow. We're such in this microwave phase of everything just being popped in and it coming out fast, and it just being, oh, we get a phone number, the next step is marriage. Right. And it doesn't have that in between period for you to grow as an individual, but then to grow as a couple. And as much as time is not on our side, because as we get older, nothing's promised to us. We still have to go through that maturation process as a couple in order for us to reach those goals that we're looking to achieve, which is hopefully forever.
Right.
So I think that's one of the things that relationships lack nowadays. Yes, it's trust. Trust is always going to be an outline factor or a big caveat of it. But I think time and patience and growing and understanding is the number one killer of relationships a lot of the times.
Okay. All right, Kenya, are you ready?
I'm ready. I mean, now the only thing I can tell you is, as a divorced woman, after many, many years, I can tell you what will break it apart. And that is lack of communication, lack of interest.
Right.
When you go into a relationship, I guess the old adage goes, whatever you begin with, continue with that. But when that lack of interest comes, you know, you're gonna eventually push the person away because they don't see the interest. Granted, it can take years, you know, but I mean, that's the only thing I can tell you is keep the interest there. If you want the person in your life, if you don't want the person in your life, then no, you're not going to show the interest because the interest is not there. And I mean, keep communication open. That's all I can say. I mean, other than that, hell, I'm looking for a class.
Okay. All right, Kenya.
Yes, sir.
Since you write these,
can I point out something real quick? Okay, I just have to shout out Nail though, real quick. This is my what I write under. It's called Carlu Creative. It's dedicated, you know, it's a dedication to my grandmothers. Nail made me this shirt like 2 years ago. So I just wanted to let him, and he's not on right this second, but he made this shirt like 2 years ago. I just had to point it out. Go ahead. Sorry.
Shout out to the mayor. All right, yes. Kenya, since you write these risque books, right?
Yes, sir.
Here we go, right? I need you to rank these in order of what do you think? Okay. What do you think is the highest from 1 to 3? We're gonna start. We're gonna start at 1 being the highest. All right.
Okay.
So you have to rank them from 1 to 3. Do you think most people are born freaks, turned freaks, or never going to be a freak?
I think never gonna be a freak is 3. Okay. Born freaks 2. Created to be a freak number 1. I think.
What you got, K-Day?
I think born freak is number 1. Number 2.
You think that's the most, K-Day?
Huh?
You think born freaks are the most?
Wait a minute. Tell me the question again.
Look, you have to rank them from 1 to 3. 1 is the highest. 1 is the highest. Born freaks, turned freaks, or never going to be a freak.
Oh, okay. Turned freak, then born freak, then never going to be a freak.
No, you got the question?
What's the question?
You have to rank these from 1 to 3. What's the highest? Born freaks, turned freaks, or never going to be a freak?
Is that what my preference is?
No, just in general. Well, you already know what your preference is. Everybody would prefer. So let me know in the comments too what y'all think. Rank them from 1 to 3. Born freaks, turned freaks, or never going to be a freak.
I guess born freak, turned freak, and never going to be a freak is my joint.
You said born freaks first?
Yeah.
I don't think born freaks are the highest.
I said that at first too.
But I didn't understand the question. I came in not understanding the question. So
Kenya, you didn't say that as number 1, right?
No, I said turn was number 1.
Okay, his question is number 2. How many do you think exist? Is it
no? It's not how many do I think exist. It's what's more. Like what's more.
Like
what's more? What's more out there in the world?
Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Turn freak.
So you
probably
said
turn freak.
Turn freak.
Then born a freak and then never going to be a freak.
I think never is going to be a freak is number 1.
You got a lot of people that never want to be freaks.
Yeah.
No, I think you got a lot of people that want to be freaks.
I think if you get that right person,
you got closet freaks out there.
As I don't know you will do whatever they.
But there's more people that's shy or not as freaky.
Closet freaks, but they still freaks.
No,
exactly. Closet freaks.
A freak is a freak. I don't care what
What's the definition of a freak though?
A definition of a freak is what I call AA, and AA means attitude and appetite. So your attitude means that you're with the shits, you'll try anything, and your appetite means you always want it. So those two combined is what I would
Closet
consider
freaks.
a freak.
We got a lot of closet freaks out there.
So Helen is saying, how can you be born a freak? Helen, some people are just naturally freaky.
Yeah,
on the
I mean,
date,
it's just
and they was born that way.
yeah.
Yeah, they was born that way.
Tara said, turn freak, never going to be a freak, and then born freak.
What does Lil Joe say? Well, Lil Joe, what do you say? I can't wait. You agree with Nail? What did Nail say?
Hold up. Who? Let's get a community background on who Lil Joe is.
Okay, Little Joe is I call her my sister because we're so close. She's actually my sister-in-law, but she is when I am in Atlanta, that's my home.
Then stop pressing her. Let her have her own thoughts. You trying to put a muzzle on that young lady. Leave her alone.
Oh, y'all just don't know her. Oh my God. Lil Joe, speak up.
All right.
And she got the name Lil Joe because that's
Hey, I got a question for Keinya though. I got an interesting question for Keinya though.
Go ahead now before we move to the next topic. Go ahead.
How did you go about choose your editor?
Well, my editor is my best friend. It was kind of easy. She wanted to actually, that was something that she's always wanted to do. She wanted to be an editor, and we had talked several nights about it. She had read my first two books. I didn't have the rights to. They were published by someone else, and when I finally got the rights, she actually read it, and she was like, "You need somebody to edit this." And I said that was one of the reasons why I fought to get the rights back to that book, those books actually. So she helped me out with that, and after that we discussed. I think I kind of burnt her out though, with how many books I was cranking out at the same time, but pretty much, just trying to give her the opportunity to do something that she wanted to do. She's been wanting to do, and it was easy to find. It worked out.
That's dope because I was actually talking to someone who is an artist, and they said that their greatest they're great, but they're only great because of the help that they have that's behind the scenes that brings to life, our ideas. And you have an amazing editor. I just wanted to commend you on your editor and your her editing skills, because your books are amazing and they are great reads, and that's a true product of the author's thoughts and also the editor making sure they capture what the author's putting out there. So congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Okay, Little Joe Neil responded to what you said, KD. KD, you see it? KD, you
Born
woke
free, made a freak, never be. That's her. That is her. Look, she was trying to teach me. I said, girl, I ain't made out of that kind of cloth. That girl is a born freak.
Okay, make sure y'all look up Keinya on Amazon. I'm gonna share her Amazon page for y'all.
Now, I think you were gone when I kind of showed this. You remember this?
Yeah, I remember that. That's absolutely.
Make sure y'all look up Keinya Graves.
And not only do y'all go get the books, grab that merch too.
For her books.
You know what I mean? Put that merch out there so they can see that. I like that.
And Keinya, can you give out your social media handle so people can follow you? And we also want you to stay on for the next, couple topics, if you can.
It is Carlou Creative, CARLLOU Creative, on everything, Instagram, Facebook, on TikTok. I don't have a lot more, but on TikTok it is basically Keinya_Carlou. I got some kind of, I kind of promote my books on TikTok there. I'm gonna start getting more into doing live videos as well, or me recording videos as well on there. I'm just trying to slowly work my way into it.
Right. All right, y'all ready to go to the next topic, KD?
Yes,
You
sir.
spoke up there, KD. What's happening?
Look, I'm just not getting a chance to share the link. I had to restart. I don't know what the hell going on with my shit.
Yeah, because you're freezing up right now. Why you laughing at it, Kenya?
Yo, we gonna get shut down by the CDC.